A wedding at a top Maui resort with a star guest in attendance. They signed us up and we made them a film. Hi, I'm Stephan, and this is the Creative Brief, a glimpse into the life, into the work, and the creative whims of what goes into the making of a wedding film. All right, so this wedding was between Ariana and Miguel. The date was March 21st, and the venue was the Four Seasons Resort Maui. All right, let's open up the trailer as well as the Instagram reel, and let's take a look at it. By the way, this is what sort of the editing software looks like. We're in the color grading suite here, and here are all the things that go into grading this thing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a look at these two. Let's just play them in their entirety, and then I'll give you a little of my feedback on what we just saw. All right, let's take a look.
Ariana, do you wish for Miguel to be known as your husband?
I do.
If so, oh, okay.
I have watched these two have to go through things that most people will never see in a lifetime. For these two has actually been opportunities for both of them to lean in, be all in, fully committed to each other, and actually grow from those moments.
To Miguel, I find it very hard to believe that you're Colombian with your dance skills that I just saw. I wish you a lifetime of love, happiness, and hijas and hijos and children. God bless you.
All right, you may have recognized that celebrity there. Let's just go into the Instagram reel. Gianna, our team member, one of our editors, she worked on this one. And for the trailer, she really wanted to start with some kind of interesting narrative hook, right? And one of the funny parts was Ariana's eagerness to get this over with. And so we started the whole thing with that, went into a drone shot just to give a sense of where this is, and also the setup to the ceremony site with this incredible flower installation by Country Bouquets Maui. And yeah, we love to pepper in some speeches, right? Give this a little bit of a narrative arc. Now, the highlight film will have much more of a narrative arc where we try to find, some plot points that make this thing flow, right? And take it from a beginning to a middle and to an end. And as I mentioned before, we were just blessed with incredible, just light and weather and timing from Christina and the Four Seasons wedding crew, so that we had ample time, Anna Kim and I, to work on the beach with them and just give them moments like these, right? Oh, yes, we did cue them, but look at the sincerity on their faces. They're having so much fun, such a sincere and authentic smile that both of them were giving. It was so lovely. And here, what I love to do is once they finish the first kiss, I love to go up the aisle with the photographer or down the aisle with the photographer, and then just as they're walking, walk backwards there. It always gives such wonderful, spontaneous reactions by the couple. And just look at that. How fun is that? Oh my gosh. And And just by positioning ourselves like this we are closer to the subject, right? This is one of the reasons why in Hollywood, they don't use very long focal lengths. They're usually, I'm going to say they'll live anywhere from 24 to 50-ish. That's most of the lenses that are used. Of course, there's some wider when they need to, but they don't typically, unless it's a very specific reason for it, don't go that much higher in focal length. And the reason for that is because the closer you are to the subject, just like the closer we are with one another, right? The more intimate it is, the more we are put into the world of the protagonist, in this case, the wedding couple. So I just love doing things like that. A lovely group shot here. And this is when I first noticed, hey, do I know this guy? And he kind of looked at me looking at him, wondering if I noticed who he was. I said, I don't know. Is that who I think it is? Or is that some kind of uncle? I have no idea. And this was the reception. I look at how absolutely excited they are to get in there and face their friends and family and do their first dance. And here, okay, the celebrity is Rob Schneider. I don't know if you remember him from Saturday Night Live and other things. Steve Areno. Anyways, he gave a hilarious speech. He still got it. What a funny dude. So he's a friend of the family's. There you go, people. And this is our reaction shot. So important, right? We don't just want to show a speech as it is. We want to also throw in a reaction shot, right? So these are so important, and them reacting to his joke is just perfect. So cute. And hey, all of these shots here were possible because we had enough time with the couple, as I mentioned. And then, we got into the reception with plenty of time to spare, and everything moved so smoothly. And yeah, I mean, I'll show you in the Instagram reel real quick about some of the shots we got there, but just so much fun. Let's go ahead into this real quick. All these beach shots are so lovely, and you get to play with the elements like the veil, get to cue them and have them play with one another, be gentle with one another. It's so fun. And you could tell that they had fun too. And now, yeah, and look at how this weather, and also the softness of this image. I'll talk about that in just a second. Oh my, just so great. Here we happen to have a second angle for the speeches right behind the couple, which gives it like this, he's talking to them, right? And so it makes the whole thing super intimate. And down here you can see the reaction shot again of them being touched, like she's literally touching her heart as dad gives a speech. Cake cutting was fun. We had it nicely lit, enough time to light that thing. And then... oh, I just love these colors and the softness of this image. So lovely. And the thing is, I'm not just saying that now. Like, I actually have a custom look on my monitor, so I can actually see exactly, well, not exactly, because there are other things that we're doing to this image, but during the shooting, like, I can see this wonderful look or something like it. So it actually inspires me, to look for more and to dig deeper with the couple, to find some things and, work with the photographer on different angles. And just seeing the image makes me so happy and makes me want to mine for more and just unearth more beauty, so that, we've got all these options in post. Yeah, I alluded to it earlier. It can be really challenging sometimes to be set up for success and create world-class images and films like this. We've been at weddings in which the couple didn't want to do any romantic shots whatsoever. And that, of course, means that, the most impactful moments where the light is just at its most oblique and beautiful and warm, it's not going to be in the film. And it's been challenging for me when that happens, but I have to let go, and it has to be okay. But when it all comes together like this, when the planning is spot on, right? The weather is magical, the reception is finely tuned, and we have enough time with our creative partners, to have fun and be collaborative, and when those partners are willing to give and take and play off of one another, with our different whims and styles and fancies, it's just the funnest. And the special life that a film like this and films like this, from, the short film to the trailer to the Instagram reel, it can really take on a life of its own as these things move throughout the day, right? And then when I actually see the image on my monitor, I can see it all come together in my mind's eye. And then, when the team and I get together to work on the actual edit and do the color grading and introduce softness into the image, right? So that it's not just this out of camera video-y feel where the highlights are clipped and there's this, certain cameras have a certain color bias. So, Sony cameras might be more magenta-y. And so we really round these things out, make it soft, make it less video-y, and give it some imperfections that give it a vibe and a style and a magic that you just can't get out of camera with just throwing a lot on it, So anyways, all that is to say, if you're on the fence on whether a wedding film is right for you, I hope this kind of gave you a sense of the fun behind it all, right? And the creative playfulness with which we approach this, and the results that come together when everything is said and done, and when we deliver the films and you sit down with your loved one and watch it and see it all again. It is just absolutely a wonderful thing. And I look forward to the next creative brief, in which we take a look at a wedding at Gather on Maui, just up the hill from the Four Seasons, but a very different look, a very different feel, and different vendors. We'll see you on the next one. Aloha.